I've learned that here in Springfield, they have a Masonic temple downtown. This Masonic temple, they've turned this temple into a hotel where there are Masonic escorts. Now, they also have Masonic churches. And these Masonic churches, bro, the whole message is different. It's completely different. And I feel like as if it's like I forgot it or something. I've already expressed it. Re-expressing it is like remixing it. You can never recapture a moment. And now there's new distractions. And they'll keep passing by, but I'm kind of interested in them. I'm kind of interested in it. So what these cults and these organizations do is they start off young. There's no coincidence that a number of children that are now adults or teenagers have been molested. It's all been orchestrated. Not only that, it's been ordained, and the people behind the molestation are protected. And you may say, maybe that's because your mother loved them. If it was her brother, or her sister, or your cousin, or someone in the family. It's not the reason. It's because they're protected. And it's because they're a part of the cult. Once you sell your soul into these organizations, you cannot speak about what takes place. And if you do, you'll be marked for death. You cannot speak about these injustices. But this rape and molestation that happens from when you're a child is all preordained, and it's all orchestrated because they know who you are before you know who you are, because they know your birth chart. The doctor signs a signature, he records your birth time. And so they know who you are before you know who you are. And before you come to be and fulfill your destiny, they already set out to stop you. And so these sex rituals are performed. And once they're performed, the person who does the molestation is always protected. And it's not just because they're a relative or a boyfriend or a friend of the family or a girlfriend or a friend of the family or an auntie, a sister, or a cousin. It makes no difference. This person is protected because they are a part of the order, and they're all a part of the order. And so you will be gaslit. You will be shunned, and you will even be attacked if you attempt to go against the order. These traumas that they give you are meant to hinder you, and they are part of your indoctrination as a slave in this society. A lot of these people who are agents of these cults, if they're not already within your family, and they come outside to conquer your family through the woman, which is your mother, they're setting out to conquer you before you even begin, by hindering you and by indoctrinating you and performing these rituals. They already hold this occult and esoteric knowledge. And see, this is why when slavery first started, it was illegal to teach a slave to read. It's illegal to teach a slave to read. That could get you killed. They would take the Bible and read it for you and tell you what it means. And this is because the Bible holds esoteric and occult knowledge. And even today, now they give you a Bible. But the difference is they've already indoctrinated you. And they don't just give you a Bible. They give you your religion first. So they program you to understand the Bible. And they tell you, don't do this and don't do that. Anything outside of this is evil. Anything outside of this is taboo. Anything outside of this is blasphemy. So if you read the Bible and you say, what about this? What about that? That's evil. That's taboo. That's blasphemy. And they keep you in these blinders as a functional member of society. Meanwhile, they already hold this esoteric and occult knowledge, and they understand how to interpret the Bible. When they stole these books from Africa and created the Bible, they then took a version and revised it and revised it. But not just then. They didn't stop there. They made new versions to cause confusion, but they also made different denominations to cause even more confusion and have these denominations competing with the other and comparing one another. And all the while, during this distraction, they are not fully aware to read it and understand it for themselves outside of all religion, because the book was created to give you wisdom and knowledge. But you have to read it and allow the Holy Spirit to interpret it for you. Otherwise, you're simply following a religion based on the book of the Bible, and you're not getting the true meaning of the Bible. See, they already know this. To become a preacher or a priest, to become a deacon, you have to go to school first. This is why these Bible colleges exist. You have to be indoctrinated by the government before you could become a pastor legally or a preacher. You have to go through the order. And you have to be taught how to interpret the Bible based on the way that they want you to interpret the Bible. And it's the same way as in slavery, because before you weren't allowed to read. And so they had church during slavery, but you didn't know how to read. And so they would sit you down with the book and read it for you. And this book is full of knowledge and wisdom. And this is what the book of Eli is about, if you watch the movie. It's about the knowledge and the wisdom that is truly in the Bible. But now that you know how to read, you still don't know how to read through the English language, which is a spell. The language that you speak. You've abandoned your native tongue. They've beat it out of you. You've abandoned your spirituality and your practices. They've beat it out of you. And even in your household, if these things are evil, taboo, and forbidden, you are already in fear of searching for the truth and the knowledge to even understand and interpret the Bible for yourself. And so, there's a reason in the Bible where it says, "Thou shalt not have no graven image." And that's because the image that they use, it weighs on your subconscious. And it programs you to think what they want you to think. And they've interpreted the Bible and created this religion, which is indoctrination, in order for you to read the Bible and think about it how they want you to think. They don't want you to think for yourself. They want to teach you how to think. Free thought, they don't want that. That's outside of the order. And so, those with the knowledge in the Illuminati, in these cults, in these sects, in these covens, it matters not. They're all underneath the order. There's a Masonic temple here. There's two Masonic temples. One they've turned into a hotel where they have Masonic escorts. And this is where they send out to conquer through women, through what they create as their witches and their escorts. Jezebels. And in the church, they go to church and they have these indoctrinated teachers teach the order in the church. And so they go to church by day, but they also go to the Masonic temple and they follow the order and they teach the order. But they are outside of it. They hold the knowledge outside of it. They know everything that they tell you to stay away from. The esoteric and occult knowledge, they know it. They know how to truly interpret the Bible. They know the astrology. They know the parables and the metaphors. They don't want you to know it, because if you do, you then might remember and you would break free from the matrix, which they don't want you to do. They want you as a slave. And they begin this indoctrination at a young age. And so if your family is not a part of the order, if there is not already a member of the cult or the organization or an agent within your family, they will remove the father out of the household and put one in there. And this is why, and many people grew up in the hood. If the father is in prison, or the father is dead, or the father is not present, the woman is then dependent on the system for money and to feed her children. And it makes me think of that song by City High. What would you do if your son was all alone, crying on the floor, on the bedroom? Oh, how's it go? What would you do if your son was all at home? Or no, how's it go? What would you do if your son was at home, crying all alone on the bedroom floor 'cause he's hungry? And the only way to feed him is to sleep with a man for a little bit of money, and his daddy's gone. Somewhere smoking rock now, in and out of lockdown. I ain't got a job now. So for you, this is just a good life, but for me, or for you, this is just a good time, but for me, this is what I call life. This is the reality. Limited choices within the system. The man is removed, which is supposed to protect her, to provide for her, and instill the order and knowledge. Once the man is removed, the government steps in. And so she's already indoctrinated and programmed. But once she's indoctrinated and programmed, she also teaches her children what she knows. She can only teach what she knows. And what she knows is what she's experienced in her lifetime. And so once the man is removed, she is then dependent on the government. And so Uncle Sam becomes your father. Section 8, WIC. They don't only just feed you. And what they feed you is everything that they want you to eat. And this goes into your body, which is the subconscious. Then you watch the TV shows, you go to school, and you learn from the principles. You learn the principles of the order. And you learn how to conduct yourself and be a functional member of society. And then everything you know, even the very world that you see all around you, because the world is a stage and it's all an illusion and it's all subconscious programming. Even if she is dependent on the system and she is indoctrinated because she has to go to work, where you go to work and you receive even further indoctrination because you have to become a part of the work environment. You have to become a part of the order. You have to go to school and become a part of the order. It's all indoctrination. The music you listen to, the movies you watch, the schools you go to, and the work you go to, it's all underneath the order. And once they remove the man out of the household, they then conquer the woman. And in turn, the woman conquers you. And it simply become a game for them. A chess game. Yes, the king is the object. King is the object of the game. And this is why Hollywood and the Illuminati and the Freemasons, they invest so much in the emasculation of the black male. just a moment. And so they program you. When we come into this world,